The dangers of grooming a matted dog and the pain and suffering it causes, not just to the dog, to the groomer too. Thank you for joining me. I am Amy Leigh, certified professional pet groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. Today I'm sharing a grooming experience with you that is very difficult for me to even watch. It's hard to watch yourself in these situations, and because of my YouTube channel, I learn a lot just by watching the experiences as I put these videos together for you. You are about to meet Henry, who is a miniature schnauzer. This groom is the first time and only time that I ever worked with Henry, and it is the last time that I ever worked with Henry. Henry's owner reached out to me out of desperation because nobody could groom Henry. He had been refused from many pet groomers, so on. I was not accepting new clients, so I took Henry on thinking that I could help Henry. I did this for Henry, not for the owner, because I knew that the reason Henry was unable to be groomed was probably the owner's fault. I knew that Henry must be in a very neglected state, which makes a dog very reluctant to endure the grooming process. Now, with that said, I would like to ask you to please keep that in mind as we are watching this video together and I'm explaining to you my experience with grooming Henry. I want you to keep in mind and put yourself in the shoes of the pet groomer, having to do this job, having to try to help this animal. The animal is resisting because he's in pain, because the mats are very painful, but the pet groomer wants to help the dog. So let's not forget that. This is Henry. Henry's a miniature schnauzer. He has been refused from several groomers because he's very scared and nervous. This is my first time working with him, so I'm really excited. I've spent the last 25 minutes with him already, just letting him know that I'm not evil, and we seem to have a little trust. But what I'm worried about is Henry's very matted because he did get kicked out of his last groomer, and he hasn't been groomed in a while. But you can see here Henry has severe matting in his beard all the way to the skin, and I can't even pull it apart, so I have to take this off. Plus I know he really fears grooming. He's got severe matting in here. So unfortunately we do have to take his beard off today, and we are going to basically give Henry a shave down just to make sure that we get him back to good. This is not good for him. So we're starting over with this coat. He's got some severe matting here in his little feet too. Good boy, Henry. Henry's 2 years old, but you can see I'm going to have a hard time getting through this even with a 7-blade, guys. So I'm going to show you a few techniques that I use to get through a matted coat, because sometimes it's matted so tightly you can't even get a clipper in there. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. There's some techniques to get through it. Sometimes dogs get matted. It doesn't take long to get in a really bad way. You can see this little guy in here has the most beautiful eyes you ever saw. So we can't wait to see what Henry looks like when we take this mat off of him, which is basically his whole coat. He's not matted here. He's matted all underneath. And here's the thing, guys. Good job, Henry. You stand up. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever worked with Henry, so establishing some trust. I gotta take my time with him. You can see how matted, guys. I mean, severe. I can't even see skin. So we're gonna start with his neck, and we're gonna start taking it all off. The last thing I'm gonna do is his head, because the owners tell me that is the major area of concern for Henry. He's afraid of having his face trimmed or brushed or anything. So we are going to start taking this off of Henry with a 7-blade with the lay of the coat. If I can't do that, I may have to go to a 10 in some of these areas that are heavily matted. So we're going to see what we have to do. Now you can see his ears have a whole lot of plucking that is going to need done. We're definitely going to do our best to get this out for Henry with ear powder and a hemostat. This could cause ear infections if it's left in there. You can see all this is inside of the ear, all that. And he is really doing well so far with letting me handle him, and I am happy about that, because I think we might get somewhere, Henry baby. Okay, good job. You ready to start? You have to remember, I don't know Henry, and Henry doesn't know me. So we have to try to establish a little bit of trust amongst ourselves before we begin such a grueling groom. I mean, what we're up against here with Henry is worst case scenario. It was let go for far too long. And my concern as I'm looking at Henry and trying to bond with him slightly before we get started, I'm seeing a dog who is afraid, who is already slightly in pain because of the mats that he's wearing. I can only imagine the fear that Henry has right now. He is very afraid. We're gonna start back here. It's okay, honey. It's okay. I know, Henry. Come over here. Good, Henry, and I'm not using my clipper back because I'm afraid that noise is going to upset him even more. So we're just going to start back here. I don't usually ever start on the back of a dog. And we're using a 7-blade with the Leigh. Nice job, and you can see when I get to those matted areas, right away the clipper is going. You want me to get through that? Well, I'm going to show you how we're going to get through those matted areas with the 7, hopefully. You can see where it's so matted, it doesn't want to, the clipper just doesn't want to move through it. It's matted tighter to the skin than this clipper blade can get into. So what I'm going to do is take a slicker brush. See, this is matted. We're going to take a slicker brush and we're going to gently just loosen. And trust me, it'll loosen it enough that we can get this clipper in there. Okay, I'm going to show you right now, this area right here. Henry's a good boy. He's a good boy. I promise you're going to feel better, Henry. Are you ready? Okay, so let's see. See? It allows us, it just lifts it away from the skin enough. Now, I wasn't trying to brush out Henry's coat because that's hopeless, as you can see. I was just trying to separate that mat from the skin a little bit so my clipper can get between the skin and the mats. And we did good. Good, Henry. So we are going to have to do the same. Good job, big boy. You are doing great. Now we're going to do the same thing. Good job, Henry. You are such a good boy. Yes, you are. Good job. See, we're just loosen. I'm not really trying to brush him. I'm just trying to loosen up right at the skin. All right. Good job, Henry. Good job, big boy. How'd we do, huh? Good, Henry. Good boy. All right. This is an area that's dangerous, the flank. So you want to come straight off the flank. You could cut it. That's soft skin and it's loose skin. So you could cut it. I'm just going to pick this little leg up. Good job, Henry. I'm going to see if we can't follow this down a little. I don't like to go in there with a 10 if I don't have to. It's really close to the skin. Okay. I know you don't like those mats, Henry. You're doing so good, honey. I'm so proud of you. Yes. I know this is a lot for you, especially a puppy who doesn't even like to be groomed. You're already afraid of the clippers. You know why Henry doesn't like to be groomed? Because the only time Henry is ever groomed is when he is completely matted to the skin. Bad mom and dad.
Bad, bad, bad.
Hey, we're gonna get through this, Henry. We're gonna get through it. Trust me. You're gonna be fine. We're gonna get through it and you're a good boy. Okay, so we're still loosening that up with our slicker brush and hoping to get these mats off. Good job, Henry. Good job, big boy. If I have to switch to my 10, it's okay. I prefer a 7 blade on a matted coat because I can rock the blade into the mat. I don't have that ability with a 10 blade. Oh, he's such a good boy. Honey, honey, I'm not going to hurt you. You're such a good boy. He is so nervous. Good, Henry. Good job, big boy. Good job, Henry. This means he's going to have really big mats in his pads, too. I'm going to take a look at that in a second. Okay, honey. Henry, it's all right. Now, he is very nervous. But I have to keep trying to reassure him that it's going to be okay, Henry. Trust me, when we get these off, you're going to feel so good. And he's not even trying to bite me. He's just feeling attacked. He's scared to death. So imagine taking your little 2-year-old toddler to the hairdresser, plopping him in the chair, and not have brushed his hair in 8 months. He's not going to cooperate. Honey, I'm not trying to hurt you, honey. All right, let's take a break. At this point, I realize we haven't even gotten to the areas that scare Henry the most, which is around his face. And I'm wondering, how am I going to get these mats off this dog's face? So we're making some progress here with Henry. He's scared. The matted areas are what really gets him hung up. So here's how we get in here and try to work through that. We're rocking our clipper. Can you see that? We're rocking it. We're kind of like scooping ice cream. Scooping into between the mat and the skin. And then we can get through some of this matting like that. See? We're rocking it. All right, big boy. Okay. And when he gets too fed up with an area, I go to another area and give him a break. That's my baby. Okay, so we're going to take a break on that area. And it's important to do that. If you see your dog is becoming really upset with a mat, move to another area. Put him on this other leash because I want to start taking this off. This is all matted. Good job under there. So I'm going to put him on a safer lead that I made. I haven't even demonstrated this yet for my... What is that? See, it's a leash. If I can remember how it works. This around, yes, like that. This is going to come underneath Henry and then back through. Oh my God, there's matted hair everywhere. Back through here. This is made of bungee paracord, so it will give a little bit. Good job, Henry. But ultimately, now I can take him off this. Good job, Henry. Good job. So now I can move that out of my way when I want to get it. Good, Henry. Good boy. Now, I've been told that the head is a big fear factor for Henry. So we're under the jaw and we're coming down with the lay of the coat with a 7 blade. Good job, Henry. Honey, I know you're scared. I like this setup much better for him, because I can move it out of the way to clip with it, you know, to clip, instead of have to take him completely off his grooming loop. Now these are matted areas, so there again we're going to scoop out like we're trying to scoop ice cream. It's really matted. And once you break through a small area of the mat, then often you can continue to just sort of peel it off. It's definitely challenging, but hopefully Henry's already saying, I think I'm feeling better. Right, Henry? I know, it's just a clipper and it's okay. Okay, let's go back here. He's very afraid of that clipper. Okay, Henry, let's get some of this off of here. If you haven't subscribed to Go Groomer yet, hit that subscribe button, guys. I don't want you to miss any of these secrets that I share. Every week I upload videos. See, I knew you could do it, Henry. I knew you could do it, honey. Yes, I know that sounds weird around your ears. Henry, come on. Boy, that harness is working out good because I can just move it out of the way.
And he probably feels like this here.
Yeah, good job, Henry. That harness that I made was a lifesaver here for me and Henry, and I've been using it hot and heavy ever since. I have a video showing you how you can make one. It's very inexpensive by using bungee paracord. There's a link in the description below for Paracord Planet where you can buy all your paracord supplies, and I will also link in the card above how you can make your own bungee paracord harness for your pets that you groom. Good boy. And it doesn't pull on the neck, it only pulls here. What a good boy, Henry. That's my boy. You have to trust me because I am not going to hurt Henry. I'm going to help Henry. So I just keep kind of going from one area to the next because he gets upset with me in one area and then I let him have that. And then I'll go to a different area to say, oh, that bothered you? Okay, let me come on over here. You know, in his mind, maybe that's a compromise. That's what I'm hoping. So we got that off. I want to shave the ears with a 10. I'm not even really going to do much up there with this 7 blade. So, and also it's important to take care of our blade when we are shaving a matted coat like this. Good, Henry. Here is a fantastic video on clipper blades. Thing you want to know about clipper blades: how to clean them, how to care for them, how to use them, which blades are right for your pet. Check out that link.
Check out that video.
Cleaning it out, unpacking it. If any hair is packed in there, I'm going to use my Cool Care because the blade, I don't have my clipper vac system running, so the blade will get warm. And I'm going to check it. It's getting warm. It's not hot. I'm going to switch over to 10 in a minute and do the ears and give my 7 a break. Alrighty, Henry. Good job, big boy. Good, Henry. Look at you. Look at Henry being such a big boy. I know you want to get rid of those mats. They hurt. They hurt. Yeah. It's okay, Henry. It's alright. Good boy, Henry. So if he's feeling very uncomfortable with an area, then move on to a different area and come back. Because then, like I said, I think they feel a little bit like that's a compromise, you know? Yes, he's very matted, I get it. But this has to come off and we'll get through it, right, Henry? It's kind of nice. He likes it when I'm talking, and now that I'm talking through a video, I think that helps him a little bit too, to hear the sound of my voice. It makes him think about something else other than shaving these big old mats off of him. Good, Henry. Okay, so he's getting upset. I'm just gonna move on over to a different area. And some of that I am gonna have to get with a 10 blade. And check my blade, it's getting warm. It's not quite too warm, so I'm gonna go ahead and shave the rest of this off of Henry's back. When you're performing a close clip, like we're doing here with Henry, your blade is gonna get hot from the friction of the blade going back and forth. The back of that blade can get so hot, it can burn the skin of your dog. And I wanna make sure that I threw this in there to tell you guys that. Put this grooming arm up a little bit, and this is elastic bungee, which is super awesome. Just made this leash this week, and I am loving it. And it's also safe to use in the tub. I'm going to be doing a demo on it in the next week or so, so look out for that one. Good job, Henry. Yeah, I'm just going with the lay of the coat. That's what you want to do. Just take it off. Take it off with the lay of the coat. Watch that flank there. You want to come off the flank, not into it. Okay. Good, Henry. It's nice you can just move it out of the way, but it keeps him a lot, it's secured a lot better on the table. Good, Henry. Good job. Yes. Good job, big boy. Okay. Just taking some of this off. Alright. So that's pretty, my blade's pretty warm. I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna sit here for a minute. My 7. I have other 7s I could use, but I have 10 blade work that I need to do on Henry. around the face, hopefully. Hopefully. So let's get rid of some of this old matted hair.
Good job, Henry. You're doing so good. Come over here. I can see my big boy.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it on low because it's a little quiet.
It's okay, Henry. Good job.
It's a little quieter on low. I'm gonna start down here with my pen and just see that he tolerates. Now I'm gonna come on up here. You see how I just put my thumb on his nose?
Good, Henry. Good, relax. Good, Henry. I know you don't like it, big boy.
I know. We're gonna get you through this. You're gonna survive it, big boy. I'm being very gentle and just babying this along for him. This is not typically the way I clip the ear of a schnauzer, but he's letting me, so we'll take it. He's not, all right, you're not gonna like the mats on your face, and they are severe, Henry. And it is scary to try to use any clipper around a dog that's behaving this way. Good job, Henry. Honey, it's okay, good boy. You could nick a dog in a heartbeat with a clipper, Henry. I understand, big boy. So what is the alternative? What could somebody do if they just couldn't get their dog clipped because they were too unpredictable and they were a danger to themselves?
Good job, Henry.
Well, the first thing you would do is get your dog on a 6 to 8 week grooming schedule with a professional groomer, and your dog will never be matted like this. And secondly, you could brush your dog. The only other option is to have them put under anesthesia and trimmed at a vet's office. Honey, you're fine. Henry. See, it's nice to have something to hold on to too besides his beard. Henry. Stop. Good. Henry. Henry. So that, you know, that if Henry can't be groomed by a professional, his only other option may be, unfortunately, to be put under anesthesia and trimmed at a vet's office. And I certainly would hate to see that be the case, because we all know that anesthesia is a risk. I want to point out to you guys, he was having trouble with me clipping around his face, so I decided to move on to another area, and I will go back to it. If you continue to stay in one area and it's really bothering him, you're just going to escalate their fear. Obviously, I'm going to charge more for Henry's groom than I would typically on a miniature schnauzer. As you can see, the condition he's in, as well as his level of cooperation is not there. And there's a reason. I'm not sure if he's just a little bit of a scaredy cat typically. I have no idea. I can tell he's a little nervous when he came in. So, good job, Henry. We're going to rid his little sanitary area of all these terrible mats too, because I know that's not fun for him. Literally, mats feel like they're pulling on your skin, is what it feels like. So, with a 10 still, I'm going to clean all this up. Good job, Henry. I know. Oh, he's such a good boy. Henry, stop. Good boy, Henry. I get you. I just like to pick up his little legs here. Good job, Henry. It's just really matted tight. It's really tight. And the 10 blade, why I don't like to use a 10 over a 7, the 10, when you're doing this scooping motion, the 10 doesn't tend to grab like the 7. So it almost wants to roll right over top of the mat. I just don't like it, and it's a close clip as well. I never use a 10 on a body. In this case, didn't have a choice here on these mats. We gotta do what we gotta do. Henry, are you feeling better? Now, I am going to take a brush here and try to loosen that up a little bit, and that should come right off. He is as far away from me on this table as he can be. You have to trust me, Henry. I'm here to help, big guy. I'm here to help, Henry. Yes. I think that we could be friends. Yes. Good job, Henry. That doesn't even want to go through there with a 10. Okay. Henry. Let me see this big boy. Who's a big boy, huh? Who's a big boy? I know. Yes, good job, Henry. It's okay. It's okay. Trust me. Henry. Okay. It's okay. Henry, look. It's not going to hurt you. It's fine. Really, it's okay. That's a good boy. It's not going to hurt you, baby. Henry, it's not going to hurt you. It's not. Oh. Okay, now I've made a new assumption. It's not just the clipper that Henry's afraid of, and he's probably afraid of a clipper because somebody used a clipper that isn't meant for a dog's fur or skin, and like a mustache trimmer or something that is going to actually hurt if you use it on your dog. He's fearful to death, as you can see. Something tells me mom or dad tried to use something on him that was very inappropriate and it hurt, because I guarantee you a professional groomer wouldn't have used anything on him that would have hurt him. Secondly, his mats are so tight on his face. He's level 11 right now. It's not gonna happen. He doesn't believe me. It's okay, Henry. Good job, big boy. Oh, it's okay. Good job, Henry. Honey, I know you want to get those mats off. Henry. Henry. It's all right. Honey, stop. I know. Henry. Hey, it's all right. Good job. Good job, Henry. See, it's not going to hurt you. It's going to help you, Henry. Good boy. I know. Good job, Henry. It's going to help you, big boy. What a good puppy dog. He's just saying, I'm going to give up. You won't leave me alone. I'll tell you the reason I think that somebody used something on his face that hurt him and he'll never forget it is because I am using a 10 blade and I am being very gentle and I'm barely touching him and he is shaking. He's petrified. Well, he's not petrified of what I'm doing. I didn't hurt him. Who did? I'm just gonna have to give up. She won't leave me alone, my poor boy, Henry. Good job, baby. Okay, you're not allowed to be afraid. Henry, come over here. Of course, there's always just that possibility that the mats hurt so terribly bad that he's not willing to put up with anything, any messing around with those mats. So the moral of this story is don't ever let your dog get to be this matted, because this is what he has to endure. I really like this harness. It's much safer. Come here, Henry. Where are you going? Honey. Don't think scared dogs would jump right off the table, because they sure would. That would be a bad thing. Oh, honey. All right, he is panting up a storm. Let's take a break. So we have half of his face done. He is an absolute wild man. This severe matting has to come off. His best bet is to be put under anesthesia. He will not let me with the clipper on. I can touch him all I want, but when the clipper is on, there's no way. And I do not want to scissor this. This is dangerous. It has to be shaved. So what does that just tell you? I turned the clipper off. I was touching him, pulling at the mats. He let me do it. As soon as I turn that clipper on, he goes through the roof. I'll tell you what it tells me. A clipper hurt his face, and it wasn't a clipper from a professional, I guarantee you. So, here we go. Good boy. Now, he is kind of tired from fighting. Okay, honey. Good boy. See how good you are. He seems to tolerate some things. We're with a 7 right now. I need a 7. The 10 doesn't, it slides right over the mat. The 7 at least has teeth. It's okay to try to, you know, and this is, I have no idea what's causing him to act like this. I believe he's just afraid of Clipper. I don't think that he's abused. I think that he's just afraid, and all I can keep doing is keep over and over. He fights it, I go back. He fights it, I go back. I got him here so he's not pulling. It also helps me to keep hold of him with this leash, because he would throw himself right off the table in a heartbeat. Okay, honey, I get ya. I get ya. I get ya. Okay. I know. Look, I'm just gonna lay the clipper next to you, and you can see it doesn't hurt ya. It doesn't hurt. He is just wearing himself out severely. It's so sad. Okay, okay, honey. And he's trying to bite the clipper, which, yes, he can cut his tongue. The whole situation right here is dangerous. I will never be working with him again. In my opinion, he's not workable. He would need to be put under anesthesia because he, you know, he is unsafe to himself right now. Stop, but this matting stuff has to come off. Yeah, he's been trying to bite me the whole time. He's been at me, but I just keep going. And he's very exhausted. His whole mouth is just wet. We keep taking breaks because he is just a nightmare. Now he does have his tongue bleed. That's it. I'm tapping out. I am not moving forward with this poor little guy. And I'm going to explain this to the owner. We're going to have a chit chat. So we're giving him a break right now. He flipped out. He either bit the clipper or he bit his own tongue, and then you saw that because I am leaving that in the video. This is what we go through sometimes as groomers to try to get the job done. I wanted the best for him, which was to be mat free, and I really wanted to give him a good bath, but I have clearly already spent almost 2 hours just trying to get mats off of this poor little guy. And he is a sweetie. I don't know what's wrong with this guy and why he acts the way he does. He is sweet, but when it comes to grooming, he's just absolutely fear factor to the 10th power, especially with the clipper. I tried to scissor that mat off of his face. I was able to get the clipper through one side, and that was just horrible. So I tried to scissor as much as I could off. That mat is not safe enough to scissor off. It's matted really tight to the skin, just like it was on the other side. And I'm not risking hurting him by trying to scissor that mat off. So it's gonna stay. He's gonna go home looking like this. And you know, he's really, his only option, out of all fairness to all groomers in the world, his only option is to be put under anesthesia or somehow whacked out to be groomed, because he's a danger to himself. He bit me several times throughout this process today. Several. So nobody deserves that. You know, the owners are going to have to figure out why he is the way he is and stop just taking him to groomers and saying, well, let's hope that this groomer works. Because apparently there's some deeper issues, whether it's psychological issues that he has that he can't overcome, or he's just psychologically not going to accept grooming. But at one point, Chloe even tried to help hold him for me, hold his head still so I could at least get that mat off of his face. And we, the two of us, could not get that mat off of his face. And I said, you know what, that's it. We're done, Chloe. We're all done with this. Are all those mats gone bye-byes, Henry? They are bye-byes. They're all gone. No more. Oh, you're exhausted. I get you, bud. It was a lot for him. It was very exhausting for him. He's not safe to groom. I think it's very important that I shared Henry's story with everybody in the world, because we can figure out, you know, we can work through things together. We're better together. I say it all the time. We all want the best for these pets, but what, you know, Grooming does start with the pet owner too, and I really need everybody to understand that. I know it's not easy, but it's not easy for the groomers either. As much as I do not enjoy sharing this side of grooming, I think it's very important that I did so today.